Hey, this is Matt. Once again, what about 10 other videos, another paid request, this time from Aragorn. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal, usually the best bet, or join my Patreon. Both things are down below in the info box. Now, this is for the first two episodes of a show called Night Warriors, Darkstalkers Revenge. Night Warriors, Night Warriors, Why did I not talk? God. Night Warriors Darkstalkers Revenge, also known as Vampire Hunter the TV show. Just one of those days. Cue the Limp Bizkit song. Odysee came out in 1997. It's based on a video game I never played. The Darkstalkers game. Odysee is also, there was a sequel with this title, video game wise. Never played any of them. Never played any of them at all, so take it for their. It's a good game, bad game. It's a fighting game where you're these different type of monsters. You can fight each other. Again, don't know if it's a fun game or not. Has never had the opportunity to play them. But I will say the animated cartoon was actually kind of fun with these two episodes. Where I really like the animation. It's a really nice looking dynamic animation at times. A lot of characters you're trying to piece together. An opening where you have all these different battles during the opening credits with all these different. So I'm guessing these are all the opponents in the video game fighting each other. So like a pharaoh is fighting a samurai guy, and a merman's fighting. No, the pharaoh was fighting the zombie rocker guy. That's right. The pharaoh mummy was fighting the zombie rocker guy, and the merman was fighting the samurai guy, and all this other stuff going on. So it definitely gets you in the mood of the battles like they were in the games, I would assume. And then you get to the actual plot where these humans are trying to fuck up this casket, but this explosion happens where the humans get disintegrated, and our vampire Dimitri comes in. It pretty much says he was exiled to Earth from the demon world, and he wants to get back to the demon world and get revenge on them. So he kills some more people for the shits and giggles. Meanwhile, the other humans, they're saying lines like, "We're sitting here with our thumbs our asses for nothing. Like, let's get some shit done." So in this world, it's a world where I guess there's no sun shining anymore. So it's perpetual darkness. And you have the humans, but you also have these Darkstalkers, these creatures, these monsters. Like you have this green-haired lady who's a succubus. You have Dimitri the vampire. You have this zombie rocker from the UK with his guitar. And I guess all these Darkstalkers, they have sort of evil tendencies to them. Like the rocker will do a concert, but he'll take a little bit of souls from people. You have this cat woman. I say the designs are kind of interesting to see on all these different characters. Like the UK zombie rocker. Like when he looks in the mirror, you see a bit more of his deformed face when he gets pissed. And you have like these priests in robes trying to shoot at him with flamethrowers. So he's getting guitar going, and his stomach opens up, and all these tendrils come apart, and the Catwoman can like get in this search. Like I guess moves that they could do in the video game. And that's why, because I haven't played the video game and tried to get a handle on this, so it was a little bit confusing at first. But it definitely has some style, and it definitely has some neat designs. It definitely kept me intrigued as to what the hell was going to happen next. I guess in this we're also introduced to this vampire hunter who has a little bit of darkness in him, but it's a curse. and he still has his humanity part of him as well. So he has this sword, and he goes in to try to defeat all sorts of the creatures of darkness. So we see a little bit of him in this. Like people try to fuck with him, and he has this deep cut he puts to the ground to steer the humans, sort of get the fuck away from me. We also introduced this little girl who's got this doll that these kids are being shit heels to, and the kid fucking with a gun aiming it at her. Then he turns around, he trips and it fires and almost hits her, so she fucks and shields herself. Should fuck that kid up for she wasn't human. If she was just human, she would have died. So you should be fucking up that kid. But instead, she just like burns this one place down. And the vampire hunter kind of talks a bit with her, and I guess the girl's like intrigued with this guy. So then when he walks away, she starts following him. The green hair succubus and the vampire, they have a bit of a fight. I guess the green haired lady is Moridian. Moridian. I guess she's, I had to look this up, the adopted daughter of a demon. And then the two start fighting these robots, and you're wondering, where the fuck are these robots coming from? You find out in episode 2, they're from this alien who's like made of fire called Pyron. Like I said, there's a lot to take in. There's a lot to take in. A lot of characters are like, wait a minute, we're in this world where the sun ain't shining, and all these different, and what's their background and what's their story. So there's a bit to take in, but like I said, it does have a lot of nice style, and the fight scenes are definitely cool and that anime vibe to it. And it's definitely not meant for just kids. It is meant for a bit of an older audience. Okay, this is a fighting video game, but this is definitely not titty. This is definitely not for kids. And so, before I got in episode 2, I did my own research so I can learn a little bit more about this. And sadly, that's one detriment I'll say about this. He only asked for the first 2 episodes, and I saw the first 2 episodes. But a detriment is there's all these other characters that it shows in the opening credits in the first episode and the second episode. And a lot of these interesting design characters are not in the show. Except, I guess, in one future episode, they're in a flashback and then they're all killed off. And that's the merman, the pharaoh/mummy, the one that looks like the Frankenstein monster, and the one that's like a Sasquatch. Apparently all these, then based on what, I could be wrong, but based on what I looked up, apparently they're not really in the show and they're all killed off in like a flashback or something. I'm like, what? So maybe they did like one scene and they're killed off. I'm like, okay, well that seems a shame. Does they seem, because they seem more monstrous in appearance, so it just seems a little bit more interesting to me. But the fact that they're kind of not utilized much is because you see them in the opening credits and it's like, well, I guess they won't be used much. That's disappointing. And then episode 2, you introduce to other new characters, where you have these giant spiders trying to kill these priests. They do kill some of them, but then you have this group of sisters where one is kind of within the other's body. Like one is more human looking, and then one is more ghostly looking, but they're kind of in the same body or this seal. And they're Chinese hopping vampires. So in other words, they're the vampires I saw in that fucking movie called Robo Vampire. I'm like, oh no. But this was better handled than that. And they get the thing, they put it on their head. I'm like, okay, so that is a thing with hopping vampires where they get this seal, they put it on their forehead. I thought it was just something stupid they did in that shitty robo vampire movie, but apparently that's what Chinese hopping vampires are. I for some reason just assumed they just made that shit up for, but they made a Chinese hopping vampire not look ridiculous. Because I thought actually the English dub and the voice acting wasn't that bad, especially for the sister that's a bit more of a wise ass. Just like the one sister is more human looking, she's a bit more calm, a bit more easygoing, and the other is a bit more exasperated, a bit more of a wise ass, a bit more attitude. And they fuck up these spiders and give them some nice animation utilizing that. And then these humans try to fuck with them, and it's like, okay, I know, I don't kill the humans. Which they're not doing anything wrong, these girls, but these humans are being assholes. So, ripples from their seal, or it's like they get this shield, so it's either ripples from the shield or the saxophone music playing knocks these humans out. Actually, no, did they have the shield? Maybe it's the. No, it's the guy that had the shield, the vampire hunter. No, instead it's just them using their seal, their thing. So they just kind of knock them out and hit them, smack them. So episode 2, we don't have the cat lady. You don't have the zombie guitar guy. You don't have the Morgan, the succubus lady. This is more about, again, the sisters who are the hopping vampires, and we get a bit more of the vampire hunter guy. He's hired by these folks to go after this samurai, which he does. He saves these humans. Because these other humans try to fuck over those humans. They wanted the cursed armor, but the samurai, which is cursed armor that a ghost put on long ago, and so it became this like evil figure, and actually cut some people in half. That was pretty bloody. So I don't know where this showed, but in TV shows, Japan much different than the U.S. I'll say that. So the vampire hunter is saving some innocent people from this cliff and puts a sword in and long enough for them to get the fuck off of the cliff. And then the samurai, Sally's not a fight. Like, you get a little bit of a fight, but not too much. It's more the guy saving these people and the cursed armor going, I don't get it. You have some darkness in you. Why you save these people? I don't get it. I don't get it. He keeps saying I don't get it so much he fucking explodes. I'm like, and then the ghost underneath kind of comes by and goes, after our hero's been wounded, he just couldn't understand it. He didn't understand it at all, and why he wants to save humans. You know, the life you're leading, warrior, is a true and virtuous soul. And in fact, you have given me some meaning. Because as he's talking, the asshole that hired the vampire hunter, he tries to put on the armor and then it explodes, and the guy explodes. I will say that made me laugh. Because that guy got what he deserved, that asshole. But now the ghost is like, okay, I'm going to wear this armor. I'm going to try to control it. So I guess the whole battle wasn't meaningless. You just kind of wish it was about, but I guess it's, I don't try to have a deeper meaning. I don't know. I guess you're just expecting more of an actual fight battle, all sorts of stuff. And then we're introduced to this alien being called Pyron, who's made of fire and wants to, I guess, take control of the Earth, but at the same time, I guess wants to fuck around before he does it, or he needs to get rid of these Darkstalkers before he does it. I'm still hazy on that, what's going on with this character. And if he seems that damn powerful, why didn't he just destroy the Earth right now? But maybe he just wants some shits and doodles. I don't know. And then and then this guy's the one that has robot. How the fuck did he get all these robots? Did he just create these robots out of his ass? But he says these robots, the hopping vampires helped the vampire hunter recuperate. And while there's like 1,000 of these robots, and the guy just has this like 1,000 laser bolts come out of him from this thing that puts. He like creates this thing, and then these like 1,000 bolts shoot out and shoot like all of the fucking robots. I'm like, why the fuck did he use that power all the time? This seems like an OG like overpowered weapon. OP OG. Well, it's an OP weapon that would make him an OG. All original, all original gangsters want this fucking weapon. Why does he use his weapon all the fucking time? Why didn't he use his weapon against the fucking samurai? 1,000 fucking bolts. Hey, whatever. I'm sure he'll forget about that later on. So again, I will say it's a lot to take in with all the different characters. There's a lot of interesting designs of these creatures, and the action is definitely at times nice to look at, the anime style, and based on a fighting game, I didn't expect to have as much story as it's trying to have, as well as not just more story, but doesn't really tone back on the violence. I like the look of 80s anime, just the way that stuff looks. I mean, I say 80, this was 1997. But even though it came out in 97, it still has that 80s look to it. I don't know, anime look to it. I don't know how to put my finger on it. So, I don't know where it's all going and stuff, but it was definitely interesting to put my toe in, and maybe that's why they killed off these other characters, because they already had so many other characters to kind of move through the story. I guess adding all those others would make it even more maybe overwhelming to the viewer. I don't know. But who knows if they could stick the landing with all these characters and give them their moments to shine, and where they all work together, or are they all going to fight the alien, or are they all going to fight the Dimitri the vampire, or what all that's going to come about. Fight each other, I don't know. So, with that said, thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.